monitoring and tracking, which is one of the easiest ways of using mobile phone as of information the earlier session, in information dissemination, is really to increase information about entitlements and also increase accountability at the service provider level. So this is the lens by which we want you to see the next three presentations. The presentations are, and I would like to request the presenters to come onto the dais. Osama will be moderating this session, so I'm going to request Osama to come onto the dais, and the first presentation will be on the IVRS-based daily monitoring system by Mr. Sudhanshu Tripathi. May I request you to please come onto the dais, sir? Sudhanshu ji works for the government of Uttar Pradesh in the UP Civil Services 1986 batch. Presently, he is the finance controller in the Midday Meal Authority and is also officer in charge of the Innovation Cloud Telephony and IVRS-based daily monitoring system. That's the one that we are going to see as a case that's being presented now. The next presentation will be by Nitesh ji on the e-Mamta, which is Mother and Child Tracking System project. This project is basically in Gandhinagar and being implemented by the Maternal and Child Health and Commissionerate of Health, Gandhinagar, Government of Gujarat. And Nitesh, the project has been associated with various schemes aiming to improve quality and access of care in the public sector. So that's the second project we're going to listen to. And the third case is, the presenter is Santosh Ostwal, and the project is Nano Ganesh. Please come. Santosh ji is the CEO and founder director of Ozeon Agro Automation Private Limited and a creator of the revolutionary technology called Nano Ganesh. He pioneered the use of mobile phone for mobile-to-mobile applications to control water pumps, generator sets, industrial machines. So basically, this is the project that we are going to listen to in terms of the case that is being presented and how it's being used for tracking data. Over to you, Sam.
Thank you.
We'll follow the same format, 10 minutes, and then the group work.
Yeah, so nothing much to moderate except that I would request all the presenters to please use 10 minutes, because in any case we have another half an hour to discussion how to scale up and so on and so forth. So I will immediately ask Mr. Tripathi to let us all know how your model has become already a national model of tracking the midday meal. Thank you.
I'm presenting this project, a wonderful project called Cloud Telephony and IVRS-based daily monitoring system, which we call a revolutionary approach for monitoring huge government programs. This is basically the structure of presentation. This is very important. Issues in monitoring almost all the government programs. We have seen huge spread of government programs in recent years, mainly midday meal, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, National Rural Health Mission, ICDS, etc. All these programs are being implemented at the panchayat level through PRIs. We also face problems of bogus, inflated and advanced reporting in all these programs. The information flow is hierarchical. Different information is available for higher ups and for people, because the reports are basically unavailable in public domain, and the reporting system is delayed, mainly 1 month or quarterly. Data at source is not available at all the levels, and you will find village level data at block level data at district, but the primary data at the village level is never available at the state level. Facing these problems, we also had the opportunity in terms of ICT developments that we found in the last 5 years. Web mobile interface technologies were available. Enhanced mobile penetration, especially in rural areas, was a very major factor. Vernacular text-to-speech technology has been available. Cluster-based cloud telephony and interactive voice response system was a very, very major technological breakthrough. And cloud computing platform with web-based platform as a software, platform as a service, software as a service, and infrastructure as a service. These things were available, which provided opportunity for MDM scheme also for initiating a real-time monitoring system for effective and efficient monitoring of this very important program of Government of India. This is basically the scheme. It's a Government of India scheme for primary and upper primary level. In UP, important data is that it covers almost 2 crore children in almost 1.55 lakh schools in the entire state in 75 districts. This is the administrative structure. It's a society, Mid-Day Meal Authority, headed by the Chief Secretary, which actually gives a lot of flexibility to it. Conventional reporting system, which actually posed a problem before us. The reporting was monthly. Whenever we wanted to track whether the meal was cooked or not, it was only available the information was only available for the entire district. The school level information was never available at the district level. MDM register has been there in school level, which is supposedly collected. The data is collected at the block level and it goes up to district and to state level. But the problem is that since the information flow is monthly or quarterly, there is always chance of fudging of the data. QPR is generated through the system. This is quarterly progress report. This flow model of the conventional system where we see many layers. The problem that we face in conventional reporting system is the spatial problem, that is school-wise report is not available at the district level, as I shared earlier. The temporal problem, that is time lag in data flow, which leads to scope for data manipulation. I think everyone would agree. Chances of excess physical and financial reporting. The delay in remedial action. Giving meals to a child is one thing. If you don't give meal today, then there is no point in giving it tomorrow. A skipped meal cannot be made up on next days. So in this particular scheme, immediate intervention is very, very important, which was missing in fact because of the delay in the reports that we used to get. That definitely led to the jeopardizing the efficacy of the system, and defaulting in school information was never available on time. Then monitoring problem. The inspections were always on random basis. Nobody had actual data in hand based on which one could make inspections. When we were handling this problem as to how we can track this system through SMS or voice, we did a survey and found that apart from cost effectiveness and usability for multiple data points, on all other points like flexibility, interactivity, toll-free, freeness, multilingual aspects, training efforts and user friendliness, control on initiative, and dependence on make or model of phone, the voice system got an edge. So, having this analysis, we started as to how we should devise a daily monitoring system for tracking midday meal scheme. A vision document was in fact prepared way back in 2007 when I got posted in this scheme, where in fact I visualized that we should have a daily monitoring system tracking every school through SMS. But when we wanted to actualize it, we found that toll-free SMS was a major problem. And that was the reason that we got a comparison. We did a comparison between voice and SMS technology and found that voice technology was a superior one. So based on that, we developed the DPR. Project was assigned on turnkey basis. We codified almost 1.5 lakh schools and 4.5 lakh teachers. That is the database that we have. Operational manuals were published. The entire training was done at the block level in almost 900 town areas and blocks. We did the demos, and real-time data collection was started in June 2010. It's almost 3 years now. The philosophy was that we wanted to make school as the basic unit of information rather than the district, which was the system in earlier method of information flow. Real-time data collection and MIS. Bridging gaps in monitoring due to problems inherent in conventional system. So it is a revolutionary system as such, and it has been successfully implemented in 1.52 lakh schools. We are basically tracking two informations primarily. A, how many children were fed if the meal was cooked, and if meal was not cooked, what is the number of schools that defaulted. What happens in the system is, as a call is sent, an IVR call is sent from a virtual number, it goes to the teacher's mobile. We have not given any phones to any of the teachers. We are simply using their numbers. The phones are theirs. The lowest end model would work. They simply get a call and they have to simply answer the call, and it goes by ki Mr. So and so, आज आपके प्राथमिक विद्यालय में, it goes by name. Mr. Sri Ram Prasad जी, आज आपके प्राइमरी विद्यालय लखनपुर में कितने बच्चों ने खाना खाया. They have to simply key in the numbers of the students. In case the meal was not cooked, they have to simply press 0, and the data is immediately appended to the central server, and information is refreshed every 4-5 minutes, and everyone can see. We have given logins to the block level education officer, BSAs, district magistrate, divisional commissioner, up to the state level. So simultaneously the information is available at the block level and also at the principal secretary's level. And what happens, the beauty of the system is that one can immediately track, like the fudging of the data has been checked like anything. What happens, you take the numbers, and the block level education officer can immediately go to schools which they find that they are in fact giving data more than the expected numbers, the average numbers. So that has helped a lot in checking the fudging of the reports. This is the technical details and configuration. We have used the technology of cloud telephony and IVRs, Hindi text-to-speech technology, SMS alerts, gateways, cloud computing platform. Basically, the SIP model of service delivery, toll-free helpline data center is there, and nowhere else in India or world IVRs has been used for data collection. It was being used for information dissemination, but never for data collection. And this is the re-engineered model. We have done away with the layers. We are getting data directly from the school to the apex level. It's available on the web. Major challenges that we face is how to pull data. SMS again was a push technology. We insisted on having pull data because we did not want to be dependent on the data giver. We wanted to take the information as and when we want. How to ensure that data, for providing data through their own mobile, no expenses are involved. So IVR technology does not have any problem of they paying for the phone call. How to motivate teachers, that was very, very crucial. And for this, the Teachers Association were taken into confidence, and they have given a lot of support to this project. Sustainability through local and administrative support, and intervention that was required for a specific school not serving the midday meal. The innovative features. This marks a paradigm shift in the reporting system. It basically removes the time lag in the data flow. It monitors, the monitoring is based on exception report, as I just now discussed. You can you can get the data with you and inspect the schools. Quick and pointed remedial action is possible. What is the systemic problem, one can tend to know. Data manipulation has been done away with. The emphasis on data pull vis-a-vis data push, and teacher is not spending a single paisa. It has been completely outsourced. The complete risk has been passed on to vendor because it was a new technology, and since we had the funding from the government, it was not possible to take risk on us. We pay by per data, not by per call, so maintaining a log of the calls is not a problem. No investment for hardware, software or training, because it's all on the SIP model of service delivery. Training, mobile number collection, updation, call center, everything was the responsibility of the vendor. It was implemented in 2 months. System of repeat calls, reminder SMS, calling other teachers, call escalation is there. So whenever there is a call to a headmaster and he does not respond, after 2 calls, it goes to the next teacher and next teacher. And in case they miss the call, one does not need to be psychotic that the phone aa gaya ki turant baat karo. One can always miss a call, and there is an option given that you call a number it will get cut within 20-30 seconds, and from the system one would immediately get a call on its own. This we have discussed. This is impact. Beginning from 2010, almost 35% of schools were not serving the meals, and this is the April data when we see that it's almost 4 to 5%. So that makes the project, the importance of the project very crucial. This is success and impact on the qualitative aspects. On the key result areas, we see that information about schools for not serving schools is a pre and post project. Now it is exact information is available on daily real-time basis. The structure of information was district level earlier, now it is school level. Immediacy of intervention, now it is possible because we have the exact data, the objective data is available. KPIs, if we discuss the periodicity of information, now it is daily vis-a-vis the earlier status of monthly or quarterly. We are getting it from schools, system of alerts is there, the quality of data is real-time data, and we are getting transparent and actual information from each and every school. Socio-economic impact parameters, knowledge of status of implementation to public, it is possible if we take a policy decision and open it for the masses. Social audit again is possible. Now we have school management committees in place and we are roping in SMCs, and we propose to send calls to them and get data from them also. The level of community ownership is very, very high in this model, and beneficiaries' feedback is now available through the decision makers. This is very important. Now, Government of India is considering the work plans that we submit to them, annual work plans based on this system only. 2011-12 and 2012-13, the plan were approved based on this data only. Government of India has already seen the success of this model in Uttar Pradesh for last 3 years, and they have decided to replicate it for monitoring midday meal scheme across all the states in the entire country. UP government has already implemented it for ICDS. It has already also been replicated by Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan for monitoring distribution of books and uniforms directly from the school level. And UNICEF has done Lucknow office has done a study, and they have found it a very useful system and highly replicable. Coming to the scalability aspects, it's scalable both in terms of size as well as performance. As we said that it is based on SIP model of service delivery, so we do not need to invest on platforms or some software or the infrastructure. One can always get it. So that is extreme possibility of scalability. Updation and standardization is not a problem. And scalable in terms of performance, we can see that each school's complete database for food grain or conversion cost, allocation, utilization, this can be built up through the system. All MPRs, monthly and quarterly progress reports, can be generated through the system. Uploading of inspection reports, now we are going to do that. Grievance redressal is also possible. Third-party evaluation by calling up of school management committees, we are going to do that also. Monitoring is on autopilot mode, and we have enough policy time for actually taking policy decisions because of the objective data that we have. Coming to the programs where it can be easily replicable is any program where you want to take data on 2-3 parameters like NREGA, ICDS, it can be replicated. It can also be replicated for revenue collection department like excise, commercial tax, entertainment tax, mandis, it can be replicated. Daily number of FIRs can be taken from the police post at the rural outlets. Number of challans by traffic police. I mean OPD, IPD data from ANMs for health sector. Surprise checks based on exception reports. And this is also very useful for private sector if you want to take a survey, say, from the rural areas. It's highly possible. And these are some of the future paths where now, since we have the data, we can bridge regional gaps, and we can make it a tool of regional planning also. These are some of the exception reports. This is the basic homepage that is available. And these are the awards that the system has got, which actually gives a lot of credibility. We got the National Gold Award for e-governance in 2011-12. We got this year's NASSCOM Social Innovation Honors and UNICEF Recognition for Innovation for Children. ASSOCHAM Awards for Excellence in Education. Manthan Awards from DEF, India Digital Awards from IAMI, MBLN South Asia, that was the first award which was recognized by DEF, and special recognition by Vodafone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I now request Mr. Nishid Dolakia to present E-Mamta from Gujarat.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank the organizers to present me on behalf of another person, Ms. Sanju Sharma, Senior Officer, who was to present here. It's my pleasure to present you our model of E-Mamta. Mamta is a known word in Hindi. Mamta is love, love of mother, love of family. And we have used this to strengthen the love by using the platform of electronics, media, and computers. So with this, this is the down key. Okay, sorry. Why E-Mamta was needed? Basically, this is because the quality of services were measured in absolute numbers at any period of time. Say, for example, and there was also a gap between the official figures reported and secondary surveys or other surveys carried out by third party. So, for example, there was a lot of gap. We thought, why there is a gap? Second thing, even in that gap, say, for example, 100 children were born in a community and institutes, out of which 98 got first dose of BCG, but only 80 got all the immunizations. So where in between those 19% or 18% children got missed. So that was our purpose. We got the numbers, but we did not know which children were missing. And that led us to a formulation of this system and designing of this system by which we started to track every child before it was born. So in fact, we started tracking pregnancies from antenatal period onwards for all the services related to mother and child. There were high left out rates, the quality of services were different, and all those things probably led to a slightly higher maternal mortality ratio and infant mortality ratio in Gujarat as compared to its shiny image as an industrial state. We had to do something. Our original health management system gave only numbers, but could not find out which children or mothers were left out. Hence, this system was developed. Basically, it's a name-based tracking system. It's a web-based system, so it can be accessed from anywhere. Gujarat also has a strong infrastructure in form of fiber optic network. Many of our public health institutions and taluka and district headquarters are covered by that. The speed is not also a problem even by that method. And then we focused on the use of this system in multiple ways. First, the data was entered through a district family health survey. There was an entry of all the individuals of Gujarat, initially covering entire rural population, so that all the data was entered for practically initially 3.5 crore population of Gujarat. Now it is increasing to around 5 crores. Again, there was a verification and cross-verification of the data, basic physical data. And from that further on, the registration of mother and child were carried on. And each mother, when registered, was given a unique health ID for further tracking. Afterwards, once the registration was done, whatever services were given to the mother and child or are being given to the child, they are also entered into the system so that we know that periodically these services are delivered. And basically, wherever services are not delivered, a work plan is generated and SMS alert is generated, both to alert the baseline workers like female health worker, ASHAs, and to the beneficiary that you have missed a particular you have missed availing a particular service which was on due date. So that is a simple and a small difference between the earlier presentation we saw, where we saw messages were given one-sided, but there was no information whether there was an action. Here, if action is taken, the next message goes. If the action is missed, a reminder goes to take that an action. So basically, as I said, initially there was a district family health survey, mother and child registration, monthly work plan was generated, service delivery was noted, and left out tracking was done through that. We had also challenges in these issues. We had our health problems, high IMR, lack of individual-based reporting, service deliveries were questioned, interpersonal communication were lacking at certain place, and hence we developed this web-based software. The ultimate idea is to get benefits both in terms of tangible and intangible. There was also discussion in morning whether this intervention has reduced or it is all basket of interventions. Usually it is a basket of interventions. This is one of the tools, I would say. We enter the beneficiary's number in this entire system. If beneficiary does not have a number, family members, neighbors, ASHAs, female health workers, all health functionaries and individual and group SMS alerts go. Even the mobile number is used as search criteria. So whenever a family migrates and forgets to take the record of that number, they carry the mobile number, and from that we can know what services the child or mother has availed in previous area. Basically, some outcomes, I will not go into the details, but like monthly work plans were never there initially, are now instantaneous. Information to the beneficiary goes through SMS. There is a denominator-based list, what children are missed out, and it becomes easy to monitor at state level. Again, beneficiaries get SMSs on regular basis in both ways. First in terms of information due, and then whenever services are missed. The SMSs are in bilingual in Gujarati and English. Though currently the Gujarati messages go in English font, we are working on that to see that the available mobiles with the beneficiaries can absorb this, because we are not providing them. So we are working on that. Basically, about SMSs sent, around 7 lakh SMSs are sent per month to mothers. For immunization and vaccination, again around 70,000 messages are sent. And also to the healthcare professionals and service providers, 88,000 SMSs are sent on a monthly basis. Messages are like that, આપની માતૃ અને બાલ કલ્યાણ સેવાઓ માટે નજીકના આરોગ્ય કેન્દ્રમાં જાઓ in a general. And if it is missed, then it says that at this time you have missed this service. So again, we have got linked with our emergency services 108. The pregnant lady's mobile number is entered into this. The driver of the 108 services has the number of due date of delivery of that particular month in that village. He also knows where to take the lady. We teach the lady how to dial 108 in a blank call. The person at the other end lifts us so that the family gets confidence that at the time we will be getting these services. And in this way, we have increased the institutional delivery. The impact, I will not go. Practically, if you see, we have registered around 11 lakh pregnant ladies and 9 lakh children every year. It also helps us to monitor the quality of services. District program cell can directly get mobile number of a beneficiary from eMamta and ask questions about the quality of services. Regarding sustainability and scalability, since it is the inputs and the designing is through NIC, we have upscaled, and Government of India has accepted this at national level. Now it is already being implemented in the entire country under the name of Mother and Child Tracking System, though it has around 70 fields as compared to our around 172. So with this, we have already upscaled it. We are also trying to figure out how to go ahead, and thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
Wonderful. You took 9 minutes, not 10. Thank you very much. Okay, in the era of lots of serials on Ganesha, we have Nano Ganesh as the name of the project by Mr. Santosh Oswal.
Which one for Axis?
So, 10 minutes.
We are talking about farmers who is really bringing food on our table. Farmer is the heart of the world. Water pump is the heart of a farmer, and we are connecting motor, heart of a farmer by mobile phone. These are few challenges for the farmers in operating these water pumps. It's a very core issue of a farmer related to might be any field, any crops, any horticulture might be. Many of the times, no power supply for the whole day. They have to travel for the accessing the water pumps during night period. And so many challenges related to animals, difficult terrains, expenses on fuel, operators. Every season is a challenge for him. You can just imagine in the rainy season what can be if he has to just travel a distance of 10 kilometers or 3 kilometers or maybe even 500 feet in rainy season, in summer and in winter. Every season is a challenge for accessing the water pumps. I'm just telling a small story. There's a farmer named Madhav. Suddenly alarm sounds at 2 o'clock midnight. He wakes up, asks his wife, I had to rush to the water pump. Power had just now resumed. For the last 2 days, there was no power. And it is likely possible that for next 2 to 3 hours, we may get the power and we don't know what will happen after that. So he immediately cycles to the water pump. He may be motorcycle, maybe cycle, or sometimes maybe by walk in a typical scenario what I shown in last slide. And see condition, a farmer is accessing to our water pump and his family is insecure at home. Maybe wife, daughter, mother, and these are unsecured, like a male person is traveling to the water pump. They are worried about him as well as themselves. And you can just imagine what can happen when we are still staying in urban. If a male person travels outside, what can happen to the mind of a woman? She is alone at home. And farmer is always disappointed about, though this is a core issue of his life, but he needs a technology solution to access the water pump very simply. He doesn't need very high-tech technology, but a basic access to the water pump. This is the thing. We came up with this 10 years back. It's got so many international awards. A very simple Nano Ganesh product, electronic hardware connected to a water pump existing. And I'm connected through Nano Ganesh. So a mobile phone has been kept in the starter panel, not in the pocket. And farmer can control his water pump from any place, any time. He can also acknowledge whether the electricity has arrived or not, whether the pump has been started or not. Basic thing for the rural is that technology should be robust enough, very simple and cost effective. Cost is a big challenge when considering this type of product, technology product, when we are taking it to the, not in home or machinery, but to the hazardous conditions in water area. Technology is very simple, as I described. Basic convergence started here. When the technology came, M connection came, a farmer was initially doing these laborious activities, all risky activities of starting the pumps, as now totally replaced by a woman. And she is now taking the charge of controlling the water pumps and relieving her husband for other so many important activities related to marketing or farming activities, and so many activities are there. She doesn't have to leave home absolutely for controlling the water pumps just because she's controlling the things by a mobile phone. She has to just dial a phone, understand whether the electricity is available or not, and then punch a particular code, and within 10 to 15 seconds she can have a control on the water pump. She knows the value of water. She can manage the irrigation very efficiently. This is important aspect. She can measure it. Again, water management is a crucial issue. This year we faced in Maharashtra, especially on all drought-prone zone, no water in villages. Everybody has understood the value of a drop of water. Then a woman knows better than a male a value of a drop of water. And the same what is applicable in a household is applicable for the water pump also. She can communicate with the mobile, with her husband, with his farmer operator, irrigation operators, or maybe workers on the farm. And by communication with all, she can manage these her water pumps very nicely. Overall impact, I'm not just going in the figures, but saving almost all eras of energy. When they have got M connection, they're saving electricity, water, many of the soil would have been otherwise diluted by losing of the minerals due to overwatering. This has all be under control by using M connection of the pumps. I'm having thrust on this slide. See how in different dimensions woman is getting benefited. I'm not much describing about the overall details about information, money, all are common. But pertaining to Nano Ganesh, when I come here, first of all, she's safe and secure at home during night. At the same time, I would say, previously, her husband was traveling to the water pumps during night. Now, that woman is the happiest person on the earth. That husband is sleeping with her now. Now, two aspects. Safety to woman and safety to farmer itself. As I described, efficient water management. I have saved a lot of water, a lot of electricity, and saved huge money. For example, in Maharashtra, one farmer is using Nano Ganesh since last 8 years, is saving 75,000 rupees per year. Not only farmers or the beneficiaries, there are so many women class we have deployed in our activities of Nano Ganesh, right from manufacturing, training, activities related to marketing. Woman factor is quite important in all the dimensions. Coming to children, this is my son. He was just 6 years old when we started our Nano Ganesh in 2003. And this is a live effect. He was very much enjoying his video games, but when he observed a water flow coming out of a 10 HP motor, and he was quite surprised. And he told me that time, oh, instead of a video game, this is a wonderful game for me. Right from his childhood, he has been made quite sensible about water use, and this is applicable to almost all children in the farmers community. These are some drawbacks I observed, especially in rural community. As I described in the morning, we have been in contact with all farmers' family right from my childhood. And we have installed 15,000 Nano Ganesh in India across 9 states. And this has been the observation through different dealers, our commandos, local electricians, even farmers, beneficiaries. Even though the farmers who were not using mobile phone, they went for Nano Ganesh and they had to go for mobile phone and they availed facilities of mobile phone. But these are really thoughts to be important. I worked on subconscious mind development, how that subconscious mind of the children has been distorted because of the mobile phones. 90% is okay, but this has been a serious issue regarding how their behavior changed because of the mobile phones, especially rash driving accidents. These are the issues, and a lot many research have been come across on this point. I won't go much in details of women, has been discussed a lot on that. Thank you.
So good. I think we should go ahead straight away into the discussion. Same group, okay, that's better rather than counting once again. Can we just form the same group? And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you can join the group. And we have the discussion. But is it possible, rather than taking half an hour, we take about 15 minutes for the discussion?
These are the world who are the real local employers, agencies for taking high technology to the farmers level. When that local technology, we say agroelectronics commando, he is a person from a village, he is an electrician or taking care from the village. But farmers believe on his word. And dealers also, if these people are having a team of like the commando, dealers also have the fact that there is somebody here to support the product after 3 years. So we are building that team.
We are working, that National Urban Health Mission is coming. So then there will be definite people. But right now, as I said, we have population of around 6 crores. But we have reached around 5 crores for registration. 1 crore urban areas are still yet to be mapped in the system.
If I am sitting and looking at your program and I see that you are scaling, right? You've scaled, you've gone everywhere, right? The form is, if I am the health worker and the mother, I'm talking to her, how is that information recorded initially? On a form?
Yes, initially it is on a format.
Then that mother, then the health worker then goes to some kind of data center or a cafe or somewhere to enter that.
Yes. See, these people,
we wanted to go for toll fees, only possible way. Because like BSNL said, initially we talked to BSNL. They said within the network, yes, they can give a toll free SMS, but not beyond. So once the SMS lands on a different network, it gets paid up. That again was a major problem. And I personally, because when I put that taxi paper, it was based on SMS model. I, as a finance person, was very cautious that we would not get into the kind of. एक बात आई कि ठीक है SMS देकर के उसको will pay to the teachers. But I put my foot down. Paying to 4.5 lakh teachers again would be a problem, and that would again involve auditing problem.
इसका पहले जब तो आगे PHC पे जाएगा तब 5 मदर को टीटी यही है, ठीक है, या तो 6 बच्चों को DPT 1 दिया, अब 1 महीने के बाद उसका रिपोर्ट जाएगा 5 बच्चों को DPT 2 दिया, वो एक बच्चा जो छूट गया वो कौन सा, वो रिपोर्ट ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, हालांकि इसके पास नंबर है क्योंकि उसने लिखा। तो unless she herself monitors, nobody without taking her help can monitor who is left out.
That means you are using the existing MIS system.
We are using
and you see data go you are registering through.
Instead of numbers.
Improvisations needed are basically funding. This is the big thing that it's such an important. It's such a good innovation, and I can't see why. We have to really look at it and push it to get funding from all sources, and including the government, of course, and sort of reposition this product as not just for the woman or for safety at home and everything, but it's really an environmentally friendly product, and also. Like I think Mr. Satish looking at other avenues of growing this product in terms of safety at home and other ventures that he can to sustain his own product for the agriculture sector itself. The other thing is, of course, we need the education and the advocacy programs at the grassroots level so that they can go and help make the farmers feel that it's a useful product for them, and they should just be early adopters in this whole situation, because people are not adopting this product as quickly as they should be, even though it is such an important and such a key thing for their own business and for their own farming interest. And that's key to sustain this product in the long term. They need a good sales and marketing team. They need to reposition this, including to the government, to show how much, what value it can bring, not just as a, for the women and for the house, but as an environmentally friendly tool, and how much it can help save water across states, not just at the individual farmer level, but at a huge national level. So if we can do that, and I think we've already started some discussions as to how else to go there, I think we'll be able to scale up and sustain. I think scaling up is not a problem. He has the means to, and he has people to do it, and he knows how to get it done and everything, but it's now to get the mobility around it.
Has been done. It's not being adapted as it is positioned at the moment. So the position has to be changed to the environmental friendly product or something. But are you really serious that people are interested in saving money or environment or something? That may itself be negative, because then it is basically allowing so many people not to play a role, and that itself can be an hindrance. It's saving oil, it's saving energy, it's saving people's time, it's saving everything, and all that it is saving itself is a cycle of business for everyone who is a stakeholder in this entire thing. So if, for example, if the bijli is not coming, the generator is making money, or the diesel is making money. So they would like as much as the bijli wala doesn't work. I'm just being, sarcastic to the way, we work, because every non-availability is an opportunity of business for somebody else. But yes, I also feel that there is something missing, because of which such a good thing is not being adapted. Why it is not being adapted is something even I have been missing. We have been talking for 1 year. Every third month he sends a new presentation to me saying that you need to take it, you need to help us to scale up. But even I am unable to understand that, even though I am very impressed, why it is not scaling up. This is an issue. And the reason I am reiterating your point is that we might need to discuss a little more that what are those small points because of which it is not scaling up, or not being adapted, not scaling up, not being adapted in general.
True.
Everything that is being saved is already subsidized by the government. It's already being subsidized by the government. So the benefits it's bringing to the people is water saving and electricity saving, and it's already free. So the incentive from the farmer side is also missing, although it's a good innovation. So, and since investment is the bigger constraint, so unless the government buy-in from the policy and the environmental sustainability part, that is another angle that we're saying that should be brought in. It's because government is getting concerned, and there is a huge push from the world society about environmental sustainability, and water is the most crucial thing. So that's another angle to draw investment, attention, policy change, and those kinds of buy-in that we are saying as an alternative to see it. Yeah.
But also, if possible, for example, you are saying that you have 1 lakh, how many farmers? Yeah, 3.5 lakh farmers. Shouldn't they know that this is something available, and you take this message, because your message to the farmer will be not exactly the businessman's message. It will be a much more value-based message, and if that can take up, then cross-exchange, inter-exchange of partnership can also be one of the ingredients of scaling up or widespread adaptation.
Yeah, I want to share about especially investments into rural projects. Since the last 5 years, so many international accreditations. Internationally, so many entities are quite involved into this project, appreciating. But there is a big difference in when, as a farmer, if I am a customer, as a farmer, I want some answers for 5-6 questions. कि what about support? So support कि अगर ये नैनो गणेश तुम्हारा जलता है तो 2 साल के बाद हम क्या करेंगे? Suppose I mean installed nano ganesh in Orissa, in Gram Vikas area. In Gram Vikas, if something happens to that electronic unit, what is the provision for support? Then that whole ecosystem of support, local training, technology, everything needs money, everything needs to establishment, and all these ecosystem training needs initial investment. And for rural projects yet, VCs and investors are not yet positively. They are monitoring the things, not saying no. But we are under observation of VCs, and somehow, unless and until we put investments for training and advocacy, because buying inertia is very high for technology products in rural area. And that is the best challenge we are facing. We want to cross this with the help of training advocacy by funding, and VCs are not ready for this type of investments. So here we are feeling something has to be done. Thank you.
It is good that VCs are not interested, otherwise we will be destroyed.
Yeah, understand.
Possibility of the whole political scenario in Maharashtra with water as a backdrop to why this is not taking off. So the advocacy or the saleable point might actually not be water saving. No, largely the pilot has begun from there, right?
Yeah, we started from Maharashtra. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we need to look at that aspect also when we talk of advocacy and then, pitching it at. So probably water saving may not be the pitch, but probably, you don't need to go that distance might be the pitch. I don't know.
Yeah, convenience of the operation. Yeah, yeah.
There is definitely something more to it than what meets the eye.
So one of the things that maybe we can add is that can we do external research in finding out in this particular project is that why it is not being adapted, because it is mostly self research or self assessment and things like that. So external body may be able to find out what she is saying is that we need to relook. Relook is fine, but what are those 10 things because of which we need to relook? Absolutely. So question mark why it is being adapted, although everything is right. So maybe that could be one of the things that can be thought about in terms of the suggestion, is that relook at the business plan and adaptability and acceptability, and therefore you plan the scalability in a different manner, reposition.
I suggest that this must be done, but those must have a background of rural scenario. Urban people cannot just understand problems of farmers.
We will not send McKinsey, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is about e-Mamta. Mostly since it is implemented in Gujarat and in the state, in terms of, in reference to the state, this is already in a scale. Out of 6 crores population, they have already covering through this system 5 crore population. So in terms of state, the scalability, that gave us an opportunity to discuss more on the challenges that they are facing in terms of if we further scale on in other states. So one of the challenges that we found is for other states in comparatively, HR and infrastructure is comparatively better in Gujarat. For other states itself, the infrastructure itself is a challenge. Secondly, one challenge they are facing in Gujarat itself is almost they are currently using the traditional system of data collection. So 1 to 9 forms they are filling up, and then they are taking this data into the system. So and they are having currently almost in most of the places critically 30% data entry gap. For the blocks where they have, and talukas where they have a little problem of manpower. So that shows a challenge, because there's a scope that if the real-time data collection system is incorporated in this process, then probably this challenge of taking the traditional system of collecting data and the data entry gap can be resolved. So that is one chance there that to be resolved. And another thing that they are facing challenges in urban area, because what he has mentioned is in urban area, the government health system is weaker than the rural area in terms of manpower and data entry people, those who do the data entry, etc. So they are unable to cover the urban area currently effectively in compared to rural areas. And another thing that was discussed was like since it is the data is collected, but there is no scope for kind of a interactive giving a feedback and having some kind of a interactive system with the community or maybe the health workers, so that they can take that information back and get further improvements on the health. So that if that also can be think of to incorporate into the system, then the entire results of the Imamta will further improve. And another suggestion came up was like, since they are already using the NIC, and that was the reason that Gujarat was able to scale up in a state level. So in other state, if the same NIC can be engaged, then probably the rapid scale up is possible. If anything is
states to be replicated or adapted, any discussion on that?
Most of the states are now using this MCTS, the modified e-Mamta. We are also, in fact, we are now being commented that you were the first to start and now you are 8th in the data entry. So other states have picked up well also. That's a good point. Okay. And except few small states where there is a defect or deficiency in infrastructure, there has to be a data entry operator and connectivity at each PHC for this system to be operational. So certain states, we have seen the list, are still lagging behind in complete implementation. They have started in certain well-managed areas, but other areas it still needs to be improved.
So are they also using the same NIC system,
yes,
or
sir.
they have developed their own system?
No. See, basically Gujarat first developed this system with, as I said, around 170 fields. They were too much. But Government of India wanted to do it. So our NIC and Delhi NIC sat together with Government of India program people, and fields were curtailed to around 70 to 75. Now GOI's NIC is upscaling these 75 fields in MCTS in all states. So it need not be state specific. It's now a national model only. And we also think of reducing the fields to be in line with Government of India and to reduce this 30% data legacy gap.
One last input is that how much does this entire system allow the community to participate in pushing the data bottom up, rather than just being tracked or just being one-way information or just being one-way? Because unless the participation of the community happens, it is just like a government system of being tracked, and there will be one day loophole and finding some...
True. Right now, they does not know why they are being tracked. They only know that ASHA is coming to them because ASHA belongs to their home, or female health worker comes to their home. It is still not a public's program in that way what you are saying. I fully agree.
It's an e-government kind of, M-government kind of program. It's
government's monitoring system. Right, sir. You have rightly pointed out.
I'd like to add to that Maharashtra has taken this, the tracking system and modified it. And what they have done is, rather than forms being filled and then taken to a cafe and then inputted via forms, they do it by voice. Okay? And the voice file is then transmitted to a central data entry point. And then data is entered. So there is not like that lag of 30% loss of data, because every time you lose data, the whole file becomes, after a while, quite useless, because you don't know exactly what the child immunization has had, what pills the mother has taken, not taken, and so forth, and the value of that data weakens at every visit that the data is not. So Maharashtra has taken a voice approach, and as far as the interactivity is concerned, what they are doing in Maharashtra is at the same visit that is being made with the mother to collect the data is the same time, and as they begin to track the mother, they begin to see weaknesses in her health, after the child is born, the low birth weight, and immediately at that point in time, on their phone, okay, they are providing health education. So saying, your child is not being breastfed, watch this video. Your child is not getting the immunization, watch this video. You're not washing hands, watch this video. So the education is happening at the same point of conversation. So the interactivity that you speak about is happening in Maharashtra. It started to happen in Maharashtra, and I will be speaking more about that tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's an ad for tomorrow. You know? Yeah.
Thank you. Preview, right? Thank you. Any other points from here, or anybody wants to know a little bit more? Thank you. Table 3.
I guess I've been volunteered. So we've been talking about the midday meal tracking system. That's been the focus of the discussion. And we've been really looking on how other people can replicate that. It's already been well established that it's a very scalable model. They're doing a great job. I think the question again is, what is the aspect that is scalable? And again, this is another one of those top 3 takeaway kind of a conversation. The key thing here is simplicity. I think what is very key to this project is simplicity. It's a very, very simple question that is asked to somebody on the phone, and they just need to punch in a number on their keypad. There is no app, there is no text to be written, there is no thought process to be followed. You just answer a phone call, you enter a number, and you're done. So simplicity is one key thing that I see that's a big focus for the success of this project. The simplicity also plays into other parts of the planning of it. As Sudhanshu was telling me, is that their investment model in terms of what they've invested in while running this project is very, very interesting. They've not bought a single piece of hardware. This is all leveraging existing systems, existing networks, existing infrastructure. So that makes it extremely, extremely attractive to some decision maker who finally has to sign a paper saying, go ahead and do this. It makes it very attractive for that person. There's nothing additional to be purchased. There's no purchase decision to be made. Nothing at stake, really. For the decision maker, nothing at stake. That's the second thing. And the third thing is that Sudhanshu ji is from a finance background. The financial planning on this project is just fantastic. Every aspect has been considered. The costing has been managed very, very well. We've been talking about scalability several times during the day, and sustainability as well. Sustainability really means different things for different environments. And I think in this case, the key understanding that is required is where are the costs and how do you keep them low rather than how do you return the cost? Because in a government scheme, there's no return on investment. Nobody's going to pay for this information. So from that constraint, keeping the cost low and identifying how it can be done effectively is very, very key. So those are the key 3 takeaways. It's simplicity, low investment, and sound financial planning.
Any loophole that the information that is coming could be wrong.
Well, we talked about it, and Mr. Tripathi said that initially a lot of people were fudging the data because there was a lack of time reporting was a problem. So now that, and he also told us that it's very interesting that ultimately the teachers were pinned down because the senior officials would say, "Ye to jhoot bol raha hai," So with this system, the teachers were able to, get evidence and get back to the senior saying, okay, we gave the report. We provided the report and there's nothing wrong with it. One thing that, it's not really a loophole, but one thing that needs to be thought about is that a lot of data is being collected by all of, a lot of data is being generated and they're getting piled up into files and going to the senior officers. So, Mr. Tripathi said very correctly, he said the behavioral change is required at that level where we know what to do with the data. There is so much data available. I mean, if you're producing reports on a monthly basis of, few lakh of teachers, 45,000, how many teachers? 4.5 lakh teachers, that's a lot of data. So what do we do with that data ultimately? That is a question that, so that's a behavioral change that we need to do. We need to come up with answers of that when you have so much data, and we are all saying that, data, itna data hai, kya kare, humko pata nahi. So now that the data is available from, correct place, from its, people are saying that this is the right place because they are certifying it by signing the reports. So they're owning up to it. So now the question is, how do we use that data?
Okay, I have 2 points which just came to my mind. Is that between today and tomorrow, all 6 presenters of today, can you also come out, I'm sure it must be somewhere in your presentation, is that because of this automation system, because of this adaptation of a technology come medium, come new media, what is the amount of money you have saved, which can be considered as the investment, not investment done, is a money earned, can also go, if we can quantify that, number one. And I'm asking this question to all 6 of you, from Radio Namaskar to Midday Meal to Kisan Sanchar to Nano Ganesh, to one left, to Imamta. The second question is, and you don't have to do it in the next 24 hours, it's not a homework, it's a homework, is that if we can get around 1,000 word or 1,500 word of how your project has created a social and behavioral change in terms of observation, and what are typical changes that you have found in your area because of your project, and nobody is better than you who can quantify that and qualitatively analyze that. And you can write in any language, you don't have to be in English. If you want to write in Odia, write in Odia. If you want to write in Marathi, write in Marathi, because the real essence should come out. So if that we can get in a week's time or 10 days, because the white paper that you have is just a draft paper. This is not the final. The final one is yet to come. And that final one, we want to really put a huge amount of value into that one to come out with a real essence of things. Because the more we know about each other, the better way we can partner and work together in the future. And that's really is the plan. The plan is not to just listen and discuss and put some strategy on paper and that's it. No, that's not the plan. Plan is to long-term partnership and working together. So the more information comes, and even I don't know what are those 5 items on which you can analyze your own social and behavioral change, but in general what you perceive as this was not happening earlier, now people are getting up in the morning. This was not happening earlier, people were lying, now people are not lying. People were not concerned about the soil, now they are concerned about the soil. People were not concerned about the water, but now they are concerned about the water. Children were dying more, now they are dying less. The women were asking more, they were any could be all the behavioral kind of questions, or the change of approach, attitude, understanding, anything that you have been observing over a period of time by numbers, or qualitative and quantitative, if you can analyze, that would be wonderful. That's the 2 points that I have to make. Alka, you wanted to say something?
Both. One is on the cost aspect. If it's possible, of course the money saved, but also the money spent. If you can just tell us the cost of the model, and obviously the cost of the model has 2 dimensions, the cost of creation, and then there's a cost of running this entire thing. So the cost of the model also is important, in addition to the cost, to the money saved. And my second point was about the change. I said it earlier when we began this session again, the perspective with which we want to look at information dissemination or tracking is the perspective that it relates to social and behavior change. From where I see it, there are clearly 2 dimensions. One is accountability, and I'll give you an example. In the MDM system, which is now expanded to Anganwadi workers, we were on a field visit. A colleague of mine had gone to Mirzapur, and she's supposed to send an SMS, not an SMS, a phone, the same, respond to the call. And when she was responding to the call, it wasn't going through. I guess there's something that comes that your number has been registered, or there's a feedback. Now this wasn't happening, and the Anganwadi worker was concerned. She was concerned कि मैं ये डेटा भेज रही हूँ पर वो वहाँ रिकॉर्ड नहीं हो रहा है, ये कहीं मेरे ऊपर तो नहीं आएगा कि मैंने नहीं किया. तो एक अकाउंटेबिलिटी जो हम लोग बार बार कह रहे हैं कि सर्विस प्रोवाइडर की अकाउंटेबिलिटी का क्या मतलब बनता है, दैट is an element of social change. Right now we are looking at service providers as people who are supposed to do their job but are not doing it to the best of their capacity. We want to expand that envelope. So obviously that is one area. The second area that I would like to highlight is entitlement. अब सबको पता है कि गांव के MDM मिलना चाहिए और सब बच्चों को मिलना चाहिए. And there's no reason why it should not be. राशन नहीं आया, ये नहीं आया, वो नहीं आया is excuses that the system was giving to those who thought that they knew. This entitlement information per se is demanding rights of citizens. I think if we can capture our change along these two dimensions, it would be interesting and useful for advocating for scalability. 2 points, thanks.
So that's more or less today. I just wanted to narrate two stories, which one is behavioral change related anecdote, real life, my experience. I usually tell this in mobile related, but if anybody have heard earlier, excuse me. I was in Nalgonda near Hyderabad in Andhra Pradesh, and in what is called a DRDA, right? They do a lot of workshops with the grassroots NGOs, people and all that. And I was in the middle of a workshop and all the women were sitting there, and it is not today's story, it's about more than 5-year-old story. And one after the other, every woman are getting a ringtone in their mobile, but they were not picking up the phone. And it was irritating because you're taking a workshop and every now and then, and they usually do not keep it silent. And if you ask them to keep it silent, it will take them even longer to figure out how to keep it silent and so on and so forth. They will just disconnect or something like that, or wait and let it ring. And my anxiety became so much that I asked that, why don't you take a call? Go outside and take a call. They said, no, we know what it means and all that. I was surprised that what does this mean? She said that we have a code system. You know, 1 ring means the son has left this school, the 2 ring means the father needs it, the 3 ring means, the woman have left with the lunchbox to the field, and there was a whole code up to 10 rings or 5 rings or something, and they would never pick up the phone. They will only wait for the number of rings that it will happen so that they get the message. And it was a total, it was like a full-fledged code system, and you understand what the message I am getting without really paying even a single penny to the telcos, and that perhaps is the reason why in America people pay for the missed call also, by the way. Because you use their, wire. The second example, which is one of our awardees also, but they haven't come in this presentation, is in Varanasi. And they are SHG group members, women, and not one, but hundreds of them, under a tree on a wall, they have painted a wall and they use chalk or something and draw the mobile on that and use it as a slate to understand what mobile can do in terms of multiplication, in terms of mathematical number, in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. If you multiply, you click this one. So replicate the same mobile into that one, and what is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and how many times you put, then you will get an alphabet. How many times you put, just get a number. And if you click one number, then multiply this one X and then this, then you get this number. And since they are SHG members, they do savings, they do credits, they do social business, and they do their own micro businesses. But they never used to know, okay, how much I'm getting, how much I'm giving, and this entire ability from the device that they can calculate that whether the number of nodes that I have got is right or wrong. Now they are learning numbers and mathematics. They are learning alphabets. They are not only dependent on red key and the green key only, but they are also trying to figure out how. Once you understand the alphabet, then you start understanding the names also on that. So they have got an award under education from us, and it's a total literacy. It's more than literacy. It's a full-fledged education system on your mobile, And so how it can be used is amazing. And therefore, so these are some of the examples which really touches the heart, that you leave the tool to the people, they really figure it out how, they can use it for themselves, or to change their behavior, to change what they would have been doing otherwise, now they are not doing, and so on and so forth. So on that note, thank you very much for the dedication and participation. I have one suggestion. We all want to meet each other also, and once the session starts, it becomes difficult to interact with each other, to talk something which was pending with Murli for some time, with Mr. Oswal for some time, or Mr. Nandwani for some time, and we want to talk. Why don't we join tomorrow at 9 o'clock, even though we start at 9:30, so that we have tea and we have some of our own time, and discuss, because we in any case are captive for 2 days. Why don't we take the maximum advantage of the time? Is that a good suggestion? Yeah, so let's meet tomorrow 9 o'clock. And we tomorrow have to finish by all means by 5 o'clock. Apparently they didn't have a function in the evening today, so they were slightly polite. Tomorrow they might ask us to leave at 5 o'clock. So even though our official time is 5 o'clock, we are targeting to finish it by 4:30, 4:45. Thank you very much.
Just a second. Just help me describing it. My office was opened there, and I got a call here.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I want to just. You can just.
Yeah, Mr.